Hello everyone and welcome to another Daily Dose of Drupal. We are on episode number 72 today. I'm Shane. You can follow me on Twitter at smthomas3. Also, sign up for the newsletter at codekarate.com. Follow me on Google Plus as well. Today we're going to be going over a module that I've used on a few Drupal sites. It's called the context module. And this module, it basically extends and allows you to, I would say, modify the architecture of your Drupal website. And instead of just having the basic blocks, it actually extends the traditional block system a little bit to allow you to be more flexible in your layouts. So it allows you to organize your sites into what I would consider to be sections or logical pieces that you can then change the display on. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to display a certain block, and we'll hop over the test site here, a certain block on the left sidebar on the home page, but you wanted to reuse that same block up in the header section on another page. With the traditional Drupal block system, you can't do that, but you can't reuse the same block in multiple regions. However, with context, that becomes possible. It can do a lot of other cool stuff as well. There's other modules you can use besides context, such as you may be able to make panels work for this and a few other things. But we'll go over context module. I would recommend trying it out yourself and seeing if you like it or not. Some people have differing opinions on the module. I happen to like it, but only in certain situations. If you can have a really clean architecture for your site and break it down into organized sections. So we'll go ahead and get started. Hop over to the modules page. In the context section, there is context and context UI. There's also context layouts, which allows you to use the theme layer with different regions, but I'm not going to go over that. I'm just going to go over the context and the context UI module. You can, of course, set permissions. You can also configure it. It's right under here under structure, context. Here, it basically allows you to organize into different sections. So in this example, I'm going to set it up so on the home page, I'll display the navigation in the left sidebar, but on article pages, I'll put it in a different position. Maybe the right sidebar, or maybe up here in the header. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and click Add. We'll call this the home page. Okay, and we're going to add a position. And I believe we can go ahead and select path. And for the path, we'll use front, which is the front page. We're only going to have one condition here, and the reaction is going to be, we're going to change the blocks. You can, of course, change the breadcrumb, change different menus. There's a whole bunch of different things, so it's not just for blocks, but that's one of the most common uses of it. So on the home page, for sidebar first, we're going to go ahead and find this navigation menu. We're going to add it to the first sidebar. We'll also use a powered by Drupal and put that in the first sidebar as well. So you can see you can organize it just like you can on the blocks interface. And we'll go ahead and save this. But before we do, we'll just walk through how this is going to work. So that's the home page. It's going to run through these checks or these conditions. It's going to go ahead and see that if we're on the front page, then this is what's going to happen. We're going to display these blocks in whichever regions we have them displayed in. So let's save this. Only lowercase letters. Okay. Go ahead and save it. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. This should be working. You can see the powered by Drupal, the navigation is there. Let's go back into it one more time, and just to confirm it is working, we're going to add one more block. Just to show you that it works, we'll add something to the featured section. We'll go ahead and show recent content in the featured section on the home page. You'll notice now it's quite a bit different. You have a home page with recent content in the featured section, navigation, and the powered by Drupal. This isn't anything you couldn't do with blocks though, of course. But let's say when we go to an article page, maybe we want the navigation to be on the right. Maybe we want the powered by Drupal link to be in the footer on other pages. So we'll go ahead and create a new context for that. And like I said before, it's really good to really think about how you want to organize your site. If you have a home page might be a separate context. You may have a blog portion of your site that's going to be managed differently than other static pages, for instance. So really think about how you want to be doing this. You really don't want to be adding a context for every single page of the site. That kind of defeats the purpose. You kind of want to be able to group pages together. So we'll call this articles. And we'll say, in this case, the node type is going to be article. And if you want this content, or if you want this context to apply on node forms, we're going to say no. And in this case, we're going to change the blocks. So the navigation is going to be moved to, let's go ahead and put the navigation in the sidebar second. Of course, this is all arbitrary. I don't really know how this is going to look. And let's say we also want recent content. If I can find that. We also want recent content in this second sidebar. And then we'll put the powered by Drupal into the footer. So save this. Now we have articles and homepage. And as we look at this, you'll notice it's all based on this condition of the node type. So if you're on a node page of article, it's going to use this specific context. As you can see, it adds this navigation over here, this recent content. There's a powered by Drupal in the footer. Let's go ahead and hop back in here and take a look at it one more time. So it's really basic on how it works. One of the things you'll notice is it of course doesn't remove the previous blocks. So if you wanted to control it completely with context, you can go ahead and just hide your other blocks so they are not showing up. Save that. Come back. You'll notice now it's not using the original block system anymore. Home page is a different structure. You go into an article page, you have a completely different structure altogether. So it's an extremely useful module. We're just really scratching the surface of what it can actually do. But all in all, you just have to remember it's really not that confusing. You may be intimidated if you haven't looked at it before, but it's really just a set of when you're on a certain page or when you're in a certain section of the site, that's what the conditions are for. Then you want to do something specific, whether it's displaying blocks, changing the menus, breadcrumbs. And so you can really play around with it, dig in, and find ways that you can use it on your next Drupal project. Thanks again for watching the Daily Dose of Drupal, and we will see you next time.